one. Number one, if your camera's on, you're one of the brave ones. Thank you. You can do the old-fashioned hand raise, and we'll see that, and we'll unmute you, bring you on. You can ask a question. If you don't want to be on camera, totally get that. I hate being on camera. So you can just ask your questions via audio if you're so inclined. I know some of you sent some to me via email, so I can get to those as well. And do you want to get to those? In addition to that, we have a chat, which is at the bottom of your Zoom window, and I can pull that right into the stream, and we can see what those chats are and what they look like. I'll answer to those. If you're one of the ones that's watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, you can ask questions there as well. We see those. We will pull those right into the chat, and we can just kind of get into where you are in your art business. What are you struggling with? What do you think you need to know about next steps? Do you have questions about what we do, about pricing, about really just about anything? So it looked like Ava had her hand up first. We're going to kick it off with her today. I'll move myself here. Go ahead, Ava. You'll need to unmute yourself, bottom left-hand corner. I'll let you know when you get it. It's like a little mic icon. You basically just have to click it once, and that'll unmute you. Yeah.
I'm going to pass, actually. I don't have a direct question.
Well, we got you unmuted. Are you sure, Ava?
Yeah, right now I don't.
Okay, all good. All good.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Rita, and I see your comments. Zoom is having some like derpy issues. I don't know what it's doing. Can somebody go into Facebook and paste the link to join for Rita? We'll see if we can get you in there. And hi, Debbie, how you doing? Yeah, I know, Jennifer, you're saying hi finally. I couldn't even get in either. Zoom is having one of its rare derp out days, so things are just going a little bit strange today. But you know, one of the things while you guys are contemplating questions. If I was to ask you, any of you on this call, what is the single biggest e-commerce event in the entire world? In the entire world. Anyone know what that is? Any ideas at all? Raise a hand. Throw it in the chat. It's don't worry. No one ever gets it anyway. Most people think it is some combination of Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Christmas, or maybe it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, right? Or some other weird holiday. The truth is the biggest e-commerce event in history, E-Carter, you're not far off, and I'm going to tie that back in. E-Carter said Prime Day. It's called Singles Day, okay? And it is a holiday invented out of whole cloth by the Chinese, okay? It used to be on 11/11. And I say it used to be a one-day event. They've now extended it to an 11-day event. They're getting really creative. And without going into it, 1/1 is supposed to represent, like, if you're single, you're not adding a branch to the family tree. This is a completely made-up holiday out of whole cloth. And it started in 2009. Last year, it did $75 billion, okay, over an 11-day stretch. For reference, Black Friday to Cyber Monday, last year, the year when e-commerce penetration was at its zenith, the highest it's ever been in the United States, that was $25 million. What's interesting about it, in where am I going with this story, because I'm kind of hot on this topic, you know, I alluded to earlier, we've got a ton of data, right? One of the things that we study very, very closely, very, very intently, and I can't get myself off the bottom of the screen because I just have monitor issues today. I'm going to try a little bit harder so I'm not like down here, which is weird. We study as a business, art storefronts, a metric called GMV. It's called gross merchandise value. It's the sum total of everything sold on our site. So everything from originals to prints to commissions to we have a ton of people selling classes and live painting demos and taking people into the wild, the nation's wild parks and like teaching them how to shoot photography and all that. So the sum total of all of that, right? And what I've noticed by studying this data very intently is I would say it's the number one metric. If it's not the number one or number two metric, most important metric, how many sales you run. How many sales you run a year? How many sales did you guys run last year? 1, 2, 3, none. A Black Friday, Jennifer Flores, 2. I love you. You know, your business, okay, and how I would value and look at your business is directly proportional to the number of sales that you run, okay? Step one is water skiing on all the big holidays. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Mother's Day, Father's Day. You're a nature photographer, or Douglas, it looks like you're a wildlife photographer, so Douglas is going to have a sale for Earth Day, right? So step one is having sales on all of those days. What I've come to realize is that you need to get as creative as possible, for as many other events that are not necessarily on the calendar to run a sale, right? Now, look, there are national everything days, okay, out there. There's a million different ones, right? There's National Hamburger Day. Maybe you do hamburger art. But what's funny is I look at this Singles Day, okay, invented by the Chinese out of whole cloth when there was no other holiday, turned into one of the most biggest buying events, the biggest single solitary e-commerce event in the entire world. They ran that sale in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14. When they ran it on 2014, good old Uncle Jeff Bezos, in a true twist of fate. I mean, what is China known for? Stealing our intellectual property, stealing our industrial technology, stealing everything, right? Jeff Bezos stole one from them. He invented Prime Day out of whole cloth. And it was 2015 that he first launched it. And Jennifer Flores, it means out of whole cloth, you're inventing a holiday that doesn't exist. Singles Day didn't exist. It's a made-up holiday. It's nonsense. So Prime Day, Jeff Bezos was looking at China going, oh my gosh, these guys are eating our lunch. This is the biggest e-commerce selling thing I've ever seen in my life. We've got to come up with something. And so 2015 was Amazon's 20th anniversary of founding, and they started Prime Day. Now, Prime Day is gigantic in what it does. It's coming up, and this is the whole point of the story. It's coming up on the 20th, on the 21st. It is a massive buying day. Every single solitary person on this call can get a sale to celebrate Prime Day in the water and probably move more art than they have all year long. It is the single solitary most important metric in all of your businesses, full stop. It is how many sales are you running a year? Now, don't get me wrong. Not so easy to run a sale. There's a lot of moving pieces to it. How do you tease it? How do you announce it? What are the discounts? How long do you extend it for? Or how long does it run for? When does it end? What is the incentive, the scarcity? What do you do during? What do you do after? Can you extend it? All of these types of things. But it's all just practice and getting better and getting better and getting better. And you look at the Chinese example, okay, of Singles Day. And I'm reading from Wikipedia. I just recorded an episode on this, so it's all fresh in my mind. 0.01 billion in 2009. 2020, 75 billion. What did they do? They got better year after year after year after year. And so too at Prime. It's growing and growing and growing and growing. And so there's a lot that we can take from the biggest e-commerce merchants in the entire world. And one of the biggest things that people could possibly be doing are running sales. So I just say that as a macro. I want all of you guys to run more sales. All right, Leanne, it looks like you've got some questions now. I'm going to unmute you, Leanne. And you'll need to hit your mic icon, Leanne. Okay, while she's working on that, I'll just...
I was doing it on my picture. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so you want me to read your question, or do you want to just restate it?
Well, I'll just restate it because
Please.
I can probably verbally say it better
Yeah.
than I can type. Right now, I'm learning a lot about Facebook, Instagram. I know to get out there. I'm trying to get more quality leads, right? Quality followers.
Yes, 100%.
And I'm working on that, but it's slow. That's important to me, but you know what's happening? I don't have time to paint. Literally, I'm working and I'm trying to market and not paint. You have a product, which is new to me since I've last looked at. I've been stalking you guys for a long time. Is helping with the marketing for me. I'm willing to pay for it. Is it like having a virtual assistant?
It's quite possibly it is an art business university. Okay. And no different.
So are you teaching me how to do it, or do I pay somebody to do it?
So let me just go through the whole thing from start to finish, because I might as well. One,
Beautiful.
we give you a calendar.
You.
We give you a calendar 365 days a year, what to do when, right? And so on that calendar right now, and to dovetail on what I just said earlier, is Prime Day is coming up on the 20th and the 21st. And so on the calendar, it'll say Friday, tease the sale. Monday, announce the sale. Tuesday, have the live art show with the sale. Thursday, extend the sale. Sunday, end the sale. Follow up with everybody, and that's the sale, right? The calendar comes in beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And you start working on what you can. You start on beginner, you level up, you get to intermediate, you level up to get advanced, okay? So that's the calendar, 365 days a year. there are going to be things on that calendar that we want you to do. How to run a live art show, how to post on Instagram, how to do an Instagram story, how to do an Instagram reel, how to post on Facebook, what's the best language to use. Here's the language you use, how to email all of those things in sync. And so you need courses for that, right? And so we have do-it-yourself, learning your own pace courses. Courses are not enough though, not even close to enough. We have Zoom sessions like this, 2 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, that everybody comes on to. We talk about what's on the calendar. We talk about the courses. We open it up to Q&A. I'm stuck on this. I'm stuck on that. I need help with this. What's going on? We have support 6 days a week, okay, that you can pop into a Zoom session, share your screen, get unstuck. Not only do we support our application, if you're having a problem on Instagram, our text will fix that for you. If you're having a problem with Facebook ads, our text will fix that. You're having a problem with MailChimp, our text will help you fix that. In addition to that, we have a private Facebook group where everyone comes up with ideas, collaborates, talks about wins. All of that collectively is essentially an art business university. That is what you pay us to join. That is what it takes to create successful artists. Because as I stated earlier, you guys are all great at creating art. You're all terrible at marketing, because that is a gap that exists in this industry, right? No one ever taught you how to build a sustainable business and profitable business, and that's what you need. And in addition to all of that, Leanne, you know, and especially hearing you working as hard as you are on your marketing and not having enough time in painting, the calendar in what we teach, okay, one of the unspoken most valuable parts about it is not what we're advocating you do, but what we're advocating you ignore, okay? The shiny objects. Somebody told you about SEO. Somebody told you try this new thing. Oh, you got to market on LinkedIn, or you should be marketing on Pinterest. I can tell you conclusively, because I'm really good at marketing and I have 5,800 customers. No one is selling any art doing that nonsense. So stop doing that. You don't need to do any of that. You don't need to waste a minute. So it's getting you to do all of it. It's having the education for you. It's having in-person classes, what the tech world is calling cohort-based learning, but it really is just classes, okay? It's classes that you get into with your peers where you're taught and you're motivated and you're inspired and you're held accountable. And when you're down in the depths, you get a little kick in the pants in a loving way, right? Because you guys are all solopreneurs, and it's a lonely road to do on your own. It's hard to do on your own, right? It helps to have some cohorts to go through. So all of that would be the biggest benefit to you. It would benefit you tremendously. You're not trying to figure out or reinvent the wheel on Facebook. We already know what works and we're really good at it. And so we'll just tell you, then teach you, then get you to do it, and then get you to do it all year long and never stop. Make sense? Or
yeah, no, I just was okay, absolutely. No, more learning for me.
Yeah, but it's for everybody.
More time.
Yeah, it's for everybody, Leanne. I mean, you know what ends up happening in contrast to what you're doing, right? You're spinning your wheels and you're like, I'm doing my marketing. I feel like I'm being really consistent on it. I think I'm doing a great job, but I'm not getting the results that I want, right? Two, you don't have any basis for comparison. You don't have anyone else going, I did this and it won, you know, it was hugely successful, like a great, huge win. You don't have the encouragement to keep you going along the way. My guess is you're probably wasting a bunch of time on nonsensical stuff that's not moving the needle in the slightest. So we would probably lower the amount of hours that you're actually devoting to doing it and increase the effectiveness, increase the ROI of it, right? So that's a critically important part. And then also too, you're going to get better and better and better at it. And then once you actually start getting the wins, watch what happens to your motivation. Completely changes the game. And no one ever does it consistently either, right? Like you could tell me, Leanne, I'm spending 10 hours a week on you know, my marketing, and I'm just not I'm not getting anywhere, right? I don't even need 10 hours a week from you. You know what I need? I need 5 hours a week, but I need 52 weeks of it in a row. Then see what happens. Then the whole game changes. Then, you know, you don't realize when you're like month 3, month 4, month 5, you're pulling the hair out of your head. That's normal. That's normal, right? You need to start getting the snowball rolling downhill. You need to start picking up momentum and all of those things. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. But I dig the Zoom background, my dear. It looks good. Yeah. You got it covered. That's everybody thinks that they you know, that you guys blanket statement, but hear me out. Everyone thinks as artists and photographers that you're selling a 2D image. What are you posting all over Instagram? 2D image, 2D image, 2D image. Guess what? I don't hang 2D images on my wall. No one does, okay? You need to show me what the actual thing looks like, right? You need to show me what it actually looks like, how thick it is, what the texture looks like, the fact that it's ready to hang. No one ever does that, right? So props to Leanne. She's got it on the background. She could pick one up right now, hold it, talk about it, merchandise to us. She could talk about the inspiration, right? Like where she was in this beautiful winter day, the fact that it stretched on canvas. Like, I'm not kidding, Leanne. It's critically important. Okay, Gershon, I'm going to get you next. First, I'm going to get Jennifer. Are you there, Jennifer?
Yes, I'm here. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, that's
it was
okay.
Actually my turn when you said Jennifer.
Yeah, you've been putting all kinds of questions in the chat, so I'm like, I'm just gonna grab her.
I'm sorry. I just have to throw it out when I think it, because then it's gone. Yeah. So my first question is, you don't have to have Facebook to do this thing, do you? I'm not a Facebooker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're not a Facebooker. I'm a contrarian, okay? I'm a social media marketing expert. Ask me how much I post on Facebook or Instagram personally. Zero.
Hey,
nothing.
Patrick,
nothing personal.
On Facebook?
Nothing personal at all, because I hate it. But I'm a contrarian in the sense that, you know, you're trying to build an art business. I'm trying to build a software art business, university business. We're no different than fishermen, right? So we have to go where the fish are, Jennifer. Sadly, right now, Facebook has the fish. So if we want to catch fish, we have to be where the fish are. That's it.
Yeah,
full stop.
But I don't have to fish in the ocean. I can fish in a stream.
Sure, you can.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, we can talk about that later, because most people probably are on Facebook, and that's fine too for everybody.
Yep.
But my question is, when you said, oh, we have these Zoom meetings every Tuesday
and Thursday,
and everybody comes, do like all your clients come? You have like 15,000 or something, I'm sure.
No. We have 5,500. So we have it split up into revenue thresholds. So that's number one.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So that there's like beginner, intermediate, advanced. I would say our customer base is a standard issue 80-20, meaning 80% of them have full-time jobs. 20% of them are full-time artists or photographers, and various iterations, service-based photographer, also selling fine art. So as many attend as they can. Some watch the replays, some submit questions ahead of time. It sort of just varies. And then we always email you the best of if you can't miss a session. Like, hey, Jennifer, I know you missed that session, but you cannot miss this. So you go to the YouTube video after the fact, and there's a little table of contents button. You click it, and you get like the one super pearl of wisdom that you need to learn. But we have there's just something really, really powerful about learning something new in a college class format, where you're going through it with your peers. And it's like, picture that we're on these Zooms all the time. So Sarah's face and Jerry's face and Doug's face, and Gershon's face is all, these are the same people we're seeing in and out, and you're following each other on social media, and you're sending each other sites, and you're like, what's working for you? This is annoying me. There's a stat about digital education, by which I mean courses, right? And we've seen courses explode in the last, like, Kajabi, lynda.com, masterclass, take my free, masterclass, and I'll teach you to run Facebook ads. The dirty secret of those courses is anywhere on a low from like 15 to like 25% of the people that actually buy the course finish it. No one finishes them, because we're not meant to learn like that. You have to learn
really?
with
Oh my God,
in-person
I
teaching.
have to finish. I'm like one of those people
you're the only one.
If I
You're
buy
the only
it,
one.
I'm going to finish that damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I paid whatever, $28.95.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. I used to be like that with books.
The two questions that I had. Oh yeah, and how long have you guys been doing all of this?
So
Art storefronts?
I think the company is coming up on 8 years old now, I believe. It's either 8 or 7, and for the first year and a half, it actually started out as software for print studios, and so people that had individual business reproducing art for artists, right? Like, and then probably like a year into that, we pivoted into artists and photographers, and we've been there ever since.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, my pleasure. That's what these are for. Okay, Gershon, you're up next. Hold on. Let me get you unmuted. I'll let you know when you got it. Mic icon bottom left. Almost there, Gershon. It's bottom left-hand corner. Yep. No, I thought you had it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I thank you for giving me the mic. I basically want to continue what Ms. Harris was saying, because I'm not really interested in too much learning anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And I really need help more than learning, because I learn all my life. and basically I have some idea about anything of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And what I am afraid of is they don't have hands-on help. Even you think you have technicians and you have run the problem, they're jumping in and they have it. But the biggest problem I have with other platforms which I was involved is that you are uploading your artwork,
Mm-hmm.
and you're filling up all this, hashtags and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
you basically, that's it. They give you very mediocre templates,
Mm-hmm.
all right, which is they think is good, but it's not,
Mm-hmm.
and you have very little idea how to customize. So you start with basically all the things which you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think, that you're going to teach us how to do it, how to put a reel on Instagram, how to create a video from the slides, I don't think I'm interested in that. I think I'm interested that you're going to do it.
Yeah. So a couple of ways to answer that, and then I'll let you keep going. One, we're not a marketplace where you just upload your images. It's your store, right? You own it. It's your website. And we teach you to market. Now, I get that you don't want to learn anything, but at the same time, we also have an agency, and so you can pay to have all of this stuff done for you if you're so inclined, if you'd like. And,
Okay.
and they can do any of it or all of it. There's various different tiers and packages and hosted services and everything else. But what's crazy, Gershon, is I get multiple people like you guys on a call on a weekly basis, right? And I'm like, I can give you the analogy because I'm into my 40s now, and there's a lot of the marketing I don't want to do anymore, right? Because I feel like, well, I've graduated up to the next level. I should be managing people and doing all the rest of this. And my guess for you is that you're at the top of the craft as an artist. Well, you probably relied on gallery models or other offline revenue sources. You probably didn't keep a huge collector list. Even if you did keep the collector list, you haven't followed up with it. You haven't marketed it. You haven't sent emails. And so here you are coming in on this call saying, I don't want to learn anything. And I'm sadly saying, Gershon has earned his spot. He's the corner office with the glass floor-to-ceiling windows and the big executive chair. And I'm saying, sadly, nobody gives a damn, Gershon. You got to go back to the mailroom and start pushing the cart around if you want to grow a business. Because guess what? The old world is dead. The old business model is dead. Paying a gallery, 50% commission and not retaining information on your customers such that you cannot build a collector list is never going to amount to a sizable art business. Number one. Number two, all of the art galleries, if there was 100 in business prior to the pandemic, there's 45 that are in business now. Now they're negotiating 60-40 splits instead of 50-50. The marketplaces are completely crowded. Trying to upload your art to those things is a fool's errand if you even get discovered in the first place. And the show and fair circuit is probably still another year or two from coming back. And my guess is you don't want to be on your feet for 8 hours a day sitting in a booth. So I'm telling you, there is a new way. It is amazing. It is going to take work on the marketing. So I know you don't want to learn it, and I know you don't want to do it. You can certainly pay to have it done for you, but underpinning that assumption would be that you have a robust business going on and you can afford to do it, or you're ready to invest in it, right? I would still like for you to learn a little bit on how to do it and at least be doing some of that and understanding it's part of the business. Gershon's
I think it's you basically a little bit misunderstood me that I learning all my life.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay for this just to learn.
Right.
I can go to real learning place. If you think you're marketing and you think that you're helping us, you mentioned agencies. So
yes.
You have agencies like
we have a full in-house marketing.
Customizing my website.
No. Everything.
Right?
Full service. It'll run sales for you. It'll post to the socials for you. It'll do your Facebook and Instagram ads. It'll assist you running live art shows. It's everything from completely managed down to.
But is that you? Is that what you're doing? Is that what I'm paying for?
That's an additional service. Yeah, that's an additional service.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So, additional service. I don't know if you send us anything about it and how it works. the storefront, the additional service, what's that to include? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I need the help.
Yeah. Oh, you're the one that needs the help. Everyone needs the help, Gershon. Everyone needs the help.
No, I need the help.
Yeah. I got you. So, just out of curiosity, how did you go about selling your art in the past?
Well, I'm a professional architect. I'm just retired.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
So my artwork was my hobby.
Yeah.
And I really never thought about selling it. And people approached me, and I sold a couple pieces.
Okay.
So, and then I thought maybe I can enjoy my life and have some money for it.
Yeah.
So that's basically my idea. But I don't want to get, my life is not depending on it.
Yeah.
So I would love if somebody will take a load of me and dealing with those Instagrams and Facebooks and all kind of things. So
yeah.
Even I'm doing it now,
but you don't want to be doing
it. Not getting too far. So I understood. That's what basically one of the reasons I joined this, because I already listened to you about a year ago when I just started. And I know now much more, and I can actually value your business. I think you're in the right place and everything. But what bothers me and what little scares me, that maybe everybody's expectations a little too big, what we're actually getting from us. So exactly. I think you might be very specific. I'm going to call the salesman who I talked to, and I will address it, of course.
Yeah, don't even worry about it, Gershon. We'll have him reach out to you. It's easy. Then you don't even have to remember who it was.
Find me, right?
Yeah, they'll find you in the database. Well, April, somebody make a note that somebody follow up with Gershon. We'll find out who it is, and we'll get them to call you back. What I would have them do, Gershon, because you've already seen the software, is just say, walk me through the agency stuff. What does it look like? Let them get into pricing, look at all of that stuff, and then you can make the decision from there. That's what I would do.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good questions, though. I loved it. Okay, so Doug's got a great question, and I get this one all the time. But Doug, let's bring you on live. I want you to ask it live so everyone else can hear and understand.
Hey there, Patrick.
Hey.
I have been operating, my wife, myself, and my daughter have been professional artists for quite a while.
Okay.
Daughter's won a lot of the national competitions. So we've been operating through galleries. Her more with galleries. We have a number, but we have also a slightly different path where we go with commercial designers and that kind of thing. Big, huge country clubs. Now, but COVID, and all my friends kept saying, you got to go online, Well, we have plenty of collectors, all that. So we're years behind. And I was watching some of your other online classes, and of course you address that. When should we have started? Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think we're being forced into this. So I'm kind of excited. My daughter is reticent because right now, if you go on Fasto at Deal Fine Art, you'll see the three of us. We have a website.
Okay.
But the website doesn't drive traffic, just like you have said.
Yeah.
And I know we have to do more of the, online social media. Her main concern is, so I'm very interested in getting started and doing the bulwark over the next year to begin to get our, art out to that. She's concerned about the gallery. Like we have a 3-person show at a big gallery up in the Northwest coming up, and I don't know. I heard you say something about holding a online marketing. Can you go into your galleries? How do you preserve their fear of competition because they're worried about us selling online?
Yep.
And we hate to ruin their relationships. That's her main concern.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we can look at it as an additive. Can we, because I heard you mention, I might have misunderstood it, so you got to correct me if I'm wrong, that you can actually do an online, sale at the gallery, maybe approach them as that we can actually use it as an additive, as well as doing our own personal sale.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so can you enlighten me, because I'd like to address her fears, because we'd like to do all three of us as a team, because that's what we're doing. Fine.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you got a family affair and you got some serious chops, my friend. That piece behind you is insane. You got some amazing detail on that, and that's on Zoom. fundamentally what I've learned doing this business over the years right now is, earlier I mentioned perhaps one of the most important metrics is the number of sales run per year. And I stand on that. I still believe that. Either one or number two is the collector list. Meaning if I was going to place a value on your guys' business as a family, I would come in and I would say, how big is your collector list? And what do I mean by collector list? Let's just use it in the simplest form. The number of people whose information you have that have bought at least one piece from you. And my guess is it's probably not that big because the gallery isn't exactly sharing that list with you, is it?
Oh, they keep that a tight secret.
Yeah, I know. It was a rhetorical question. So what happens when you're in this business for any period of time is you come out with a new series, right? You announce the series to some fanfare. You say, I'm going to debut this series on Thursday. On Monday, you send the entire series to your collectors. Your collectors buy some portion of the show. I've seen this on the low end to 5-10% of the show, on the high end to 80-90% of the show. This guy, in his book, I always trump it, Don't Be a Starving Artist. It's the #1 best-selling artist in the United States, Wyland the Whale Guy, right?
Right.
He talks about the importance of a collector list and how important it is to take care of it. And what I've realized over the 5 or 6 years doing this is you guys at the end of the day are all essentially just commission salespeople, right? Whether you're selling through the gallery or you're selling direct, you're commission salespeople. If you sell a bunch, you have the good year. But there's no guarantees of anything, right? Your collector list is like a base salary, okay? It is an appearance fee for getting out of bed and creating in the morning, because I see time and time and time again, okay? People have a show, they do an announcement, they do whatever it is, and 40, 50, 60, 70% of the show is sold before the public even gets to see it because they had a collector list, right? And you might have good gallery relationships now, but that might go completely out of the window in 3 or 4 years. And then what do you have? Nothing. You have nothing. You have to go struggle to find another gallery. So that concept is so doggone important to me. It's amazing. So that's number one. Number two, these gallery relationships, while I think predatory, I don't blame you for being in them. I believe that was just the norm, and I believe it's being disrupted. I believe the galleries and their business model is no different than the taxi cabs, and this new model is Uber. That's how significant it is. But you can approach it on a case-by-case basis, right? And let's take you and your wife out of the equation and just say your daughter. Your daughter is terrified that the galleries are going to pull her out of there or not like it or this or that. No problem. Just say, look, I want to do my own marketing. I want to grow my own name. Same 50-50 split on the website for everything that we sell, and let's go. And you know what she can do? She can run that for a couple of years, and she can start building her own collector list, and she can start profiting from her own marketing. And then she can say, at a point in time when the gallery is like, I'm going to go 60-40 because half the galleries are closed and whatever else they're doing, she can be like, no, I'm going to go on my own, right? But at least you have the leverage and it's building. You can do anything from that to just easier to beg forgiveness than ask permission, or a more limited split. So it's a case-by-case basis, and you really just have to evaluate it on the strength of the revenue that's coming from that gallery, right? Like if it's very, very minimal, you can have a come to Jesus with a gallery and be like, I'm not supporting myself. I'm trying to support myself. I would love to have you support me, but it's not working out. So I need to do something else to grow my business and approach them as a human being. And oftentimes they'll be okay, or they'll make whatever concerns, but you just approach it on a case by case basis. We have an article on this too that I'm going to send you, where we've had some folks chime in and give you some ideas on how to approach it. But what I just gave you, practically speaking, is the best way to do it. Like if she's really worried, then do that. But I have seen week in, week out, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even occasionally people in their 90s that come onto these calls, and it breaks my heart because they never understood the business model. They never understood that you had to build a collector list, and then that pandemic hit, poof, the rules changed. The ones that had people to market to, they thrived. Art demand was at an all-time high as a result of COVID and being locked down. And for everyone else, they just sat and had to wait, right? Galleries closed, art embargoed inside of it, couldn't even sell it if you wanted to. So my strong advice to you is you've got another 30, 40 years of this yourself. Start building a damn collector list. I don't care if you ever sign up for us. Start building the damn collector list. If there's something that's impeding you from doing that, you're going into a fight with one arm tied behind your back and it ain't there. It's not a great way to do it.
Right.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the writing's on the wall. COVID just pushed it right into us.
It did.
It did.
It did.
It forced forced us because literally for 3 months. Now, luckily, we have a number of good collectors, and they kept us alive. But there was 3 months the government shut down galleries, shut down. We had our own private school here in Phoenix, and they wouldn't let us in the building. You couldn't teach, you couldn't sell, and it's like this is totally out of our hands. We got to start thinking about going online, but we're surviving because we get 100% of our living on art. But this is the way of the future right here.
100%. 100%.
So I think we've got to get on board. I just want to have good arguments. Anything you can send me that I can talk to my daughter, because she's quite famous on the West Coast, and I'd like to ease her fears. Because in the end,
where in the West Coast is she?
Dinosaur,
Where in the West Coast is she? Just out of curiosity.
She's up in Oregon, but she has a number of galleries on the West Coast, like I said, and done a lot of plein air competition.
Mm-hmm.
My wife has won awards at the press show.
I love that it's a family affair, and even more so too. Like I like to think long term in this business because again, you have to have the long term perspective. Like you guys get going on this together because your family. There's not going to be the stupid petty disputes that normally come from like a co-op gallery type situation, right? Where no one's doing one person's doing all the marketing, everyone else is benefiting. That's like it's being in a Mormon relationship with like 6 wives. Like how's that going to work out? It never works out. So being that you guys are the family unit, you have the family brand, okay, and you have an entity that you three can build collectively. You guys have a brand and that your family, and you can show all these cool photos of when you were kids and when you were painting together in art class. I mean, people love that stuff. And then 40 years from now, when you're ready to retire, your daughter can carry on the family name and have all of your inventory and still sell prints and potentially open up galleries and everything else. So you have an incredibly attractive situation. You need to get started, and independent of anything else, you only have one metric. If you're not building the collector list, you're done. You're done.
No, I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
I can vouch for that because the small collector list that we built up on our own kept us alive and very healthy. This year, but none of it was contributed by the galleries in the old brick and mortar.
No, and that model's just done. I mean, it's going away. And I didn't get a rant on it as much, but this concept of the live art show. You seen me pitch any of the stuff on that?
Yes, I did, and I was totally fascinated by that.
Yeah,
I really was.
So one of the things that I love to show, right, and I'm gonna pull it up right now. So just give me a second.
Okay.
So I've got one buddy, and he's been a customer since like the early days, and he's really, really talented. And so we kind of like got a hold of everything, and he was my go-to guy to run case studies, right? And so I ran all the case studies with him. And I've run a bunch of live art shows with him, and just bear with me, I'm pulling it up. And you look at his live art shows, right? And let me make sure this is popping in. So that's not the one. So we've run a bunch of live art shows with him, including ones inside of galleries, right? And God, come on, YouTube, it's one of those days. So this was in the middle of COVID, right? And he somehow had the gallery show booked, and they're like, screw it, we're gonna have it. Now, obviously, attendance wasn't tremendous, but what did we do? We, the next day, ran a live art show, and he's walking him through the actual gallery, and doing, showing the pieces that are sold and asking, responding to questions directly, walking through, people are saying, oh, merci, because he's French and English, he speaks both. But anyway, the point is that I've watched this guy in his career mature over the last like 5 or 6 years. And what is truly stunning to me, okay, is paint for 6 months to 9 months for a year, have the full-blown dog and pony show, okay, in the art gallery, a 50-50 split, yes, but velvet ropes, bartenders, performance art, hyped for a huge period of time. And the last one, big one, not that one I just showed you, but the last big one he did, 112,000 Canadian was total gross, okay? So he kept a little bit over 50 or whatever, right? At the end of the day, and he retained zero information on the collectors. Okay, now we're in the pandemic, right? We started testing these basement sales. And so in this instance, this is not reflective of how good his current work is, which is just insane. But he's like, I have all this old inventory from like 5 to 7 years ago in my basement, and I want to start selling it, right? And so we did 2 shows with him over 15 days, okay, in which he sold in total 62 pieces, for a little bit over, where's the other one? The other one was the birds. A little bit over $32,000 Canadian, okay? Oh, I'm not showing it. God, I always get confused on this. So here's the 2 shows to get myself out of it. So it was this one. He's in his garage studio, right? These are old pieces that like he was doing seven years ago. So that was the first show. This was the second show. And you look at that, right? And here's a guy that used to paint, for 6 months a year, have the show split, do the 50-50 split, and not maintain his collector information. And so he did that huge show, those amazing pieces, all of that, and he walked away with a little bit over half, right? Or a little bit less than half. Okay, I'm not showing myself, sorry. Thank you, guys. Fast forward to the middle of the pandemic, because he had attention, 25,000 followers on Instagram, because he had a decent email list, because he had decent Facebook, he sells $30,000 without leaving his house of old work, and he keeps 100% of the profit. Now, don't get me wrong, he had a massive pain in the butt in terms of shipping, because he had to ship some in Canada, some in the United States, some he sold in Central America, some he sold in Europe, a couple he sold in Asia, which is amazing. That's the way his work. Guy's got celebrity collectors and everything else, but he's sitting there looking at it going, okay, I sold $30,000 direct. I kept 100% of the profit versus paint for a year and make $50,000 and then don't retain my customer information. He's like, why the hell do I need to do a gallery show anymore? What's the point of it? Right? Like, don't get me wrong, it's good for prestige, and he wants to get to the upper echelon, and he very well might. But I look at the results that take place as a result of these live art shows, as a result of the fact that you don't even have to leave the house, and it is boggling my damn mind, okay? It is boggling my mind. It is utterly, totally, and completely full stop the future of art sales. And so after we got the results with him, we've just been running more and more and more and more of them. And this is an artist, and don't worry, I'm going to send you links to all of these things after the fact so you guys can watch them. This is an artist out of Kansas City. Her name's Meg Nattenberger. She's been a customer for a while now, and she was moving, get my fat head out of here. She was moving from one studio to another, and so she had a bunch of these extra pieces. They were like color studies and sketches and smaller thises and that's, right? And we're like, Meg, you got to run a story. You got to run a sale, right? She had 80 pieces in the sale. Out of the 80 pieces in the sale was announced Monday, like it's going to be a live art show that's going to go on Wednesday. Okay. And she doesn't have a huge list, but she's got very, very devoted fans. Out of the 80 pieces in the show, she emails her collector list ahead of time. They bought 46% of the show before the public even saw it. Now, this was a smaller show. Okay. It's like, I got to get going so I can fast forward on it and show you. I mean, it's like quite literally like color studies and sketches and tiny little things like that, right? Like those aren't finished pieces. Those are just in betweens, whatevers. She sold $12,000 in the show. All direct, all shipped, didn't have to leave her house, right? Got to film this thing in her garage basement. And so, ultimately, these things represent the future of where this whole thing's headed. And the galleries don't stand a chance. The fair and show circuit doesn't stand a chance, because why would you spend the money for a booth fee and then load up the car, on your feet for 8 hours a day, staying in a crappy hotel, eating crappy food, coming back done and dusted on Tuesday or whatever it is? That model only works, that show and tell model. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-show and tell. It's great for lead generation. We love it. We have playbooks for it. But that model only works at 100% attendance, right? And it's always hit or miss whether you see the ROI back on a show or not. And in those examples that I just showed you, you could run 10 of those in the time that it would take you for free, okay, to go to the thing and not come back. And the whole art selling world is trying to figure this out right now. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about us at the just getting started to mid-tier artist level, or whether you're talking about at the very, very top of the ecosystem, as it were. And I've been showing this thing nonstop recently, and it looked like there's only 2 big reports that I'm aware of for you guys. Art market report, here it is. This one is put out by Art Basel and UBS. It's a really good report. I'm going to send this to you too. The website was broken on Friday. Let's see if it's still broken. Oh, you guys suck. There's my quotable line. But anyway, it's a huge report that talks about the entire state of the market. And, I didn't have the screen share going on. Let me just get this out of the way. So here it is. I'm off my game today. Hold on. Getting locked out of the Zoom. So it's called the Art Market Report. And again, I'm going to send this to you after the fact. And what's so interesting is they're essentially only talking about the top 5% of the market, right? The ones that are making over $1 million a year, Sotheby's Christie's, the ones that are in Gagosian and all the other top places. And they sort of cap out at like people making right about 6 figures and supplementing their income with other jobs. That's who they survey. So it's not representative of the whole market. But they talked about how in 2020, especially during the pandemic and bits of it that were in 2021, that the explosion of OVRs, you know what an OVR is? Online viewing rooms. Stated another way, a snotty way of calling it a Zoom call, okay? And they talked about how at the high net worth section of the market, you know, you can just say $50,000 pieces and above, that more art was sold via Zoom calls, OVRs, over this pandemic than ever in history. Mind-boggling different. Have the artists there, have them talking about their pieces. And so the game has changed. It is the single solitary greatest way to sell art. And it's like, if I was interested in one of your pieces, Doug, and I could come in, sorry if I'm calling you Douglas, and I could come in and say, Douglas, I want to see some of your pieces. Can we get on a Zoom call together and you just show me a few and talk about it exactly in this background that you have right now? How much more compelling is that than any other way to sell art? It's not even close. It's the next best thing to me being right next to you. It is the future, full stop. And I bring that up again to say, for the artists that understand the game, which means attention is the currency of the land, you have to do your marketing. You guys all suck at marketing. You have to build this collector list. It is literally the taxi cab Uber moment. It's the Blockbuster Video Netflix moment. We're never going back. We are never going back to that old world. It will work on some small scale and some small level, but it is not the future. It's not the future, and you have to figure it out now. For you, it's a massive pain in the butt because I'm like, you're at the top of your game right now. All you want to do is paint, but guess what? You're going to have to learn how to build this list and this traffic and everything else. But 3 to 5 years from now, you're going to be completely secure in the sense that you control your destiny and no one else. That's important. That's important.
Well, Patrick, you know, I got to say, you hit on so many points for everybody else that's not, you know, a professional artist or hasn't been in it as long as we have. You become a slave to the gallery. You think I'm going to take on gallery representation because we're in some really good galleries, and they're going to really promote you. They are looking for you to promote them. They're looking for your name list.
Yep.
And you try to build that by being on the road 2 or 3 months out of the year, 4 months out of the year, going to plein air events. It's a dog and pony show, and it just can wear you down over the years. Instead, here, what I enjoy about this is because I know we're behind the curve, but what the heck? It's just a new challenge. But literally building up your own, you know, collector base, because that's what's kept us alive through all this. But we should quadruple it and bring it up by 10 times. You know, have all our collectors, that list should be totally ours.
Yes.
And it would be very empowering, because right now, if you go to the galleries, you become their slave. Give half of it to you. They're the ones telling you, oh, produce another Canyon Shea. I want it this big. I want it that big. You know, they're telling you all kinds of things. And then they keep the list totally non-productive. And it's dying. I can tell you many really good galleries, some of the top galleries in the country, in the Jackson Hole, in Scottsdale, that have been around for 30, 40 years, have shut down.
Yep.
So the writing's on the wall.
On the wall, straight up.
Yeah.
How long have you been a full-time artist, just out of curiosity?
20 years.
Wow.
100% of our income in the art business. We ship art up to, you know, I have paintings in Spain. You know, a lot of my paintings are, the biggest painting we've ever done was 26-foot painting for the Pinnacle Peak Country Club.
Wow.
Wow. A lot of it is just big collectors, like some up in Edmonton, that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's a wonderful way. It's a bizarre way to earn a living, totally different business model. But I think you guys have a great niche. I'm excited to be able to approach my daughter and bring her along into this. And I think we're just making a decision to go, because I would like to get us operating in this model. So when we have a 3-person show in January at this one gallery, I'd like to be able to show this to be a contributing factor to the galleries over here, that you don't have to get rid of them, but just build a totally separate business that
Exactly.
I think is going to operate on itself and slowly, totally replace.
Oh, exactly. We can help you so significantly. I want you on the inside near immediately, and you know, just to give you some context of where you are in the grand scheme of things, which I think is super interesting. So I'm really hot on this book. It's the $12 million stuffed shark, The Curious Case of Economics. It's a little bit old now, right? This was done in 2010. But there's one really, really interesting quote inside this book, and don't worry, I'll send you links. I still totally think you guys should buy this because it's a mega interesting read for what you guys are trying to do. And so They're talking about artists by the numbers. And again, it's 2010. So obviously things have matured since then. There are approximately 40,000 artists in a residence in London and about the same number in New York. So of the total of 80,000, 75 are superstar artists with 7-figure incomes. And so out of the 80,000, this is probably a little bit hard to see, but I'm going to see if I can beef it up. Is that making it bigger? Yeah, it is. So, okay. Out of the 80,000 in New York and London, oh, this got somehow maxed. 75 are superstars, 0.09% out of the 80,000, right? Okay. The next tier down, below those are 300 mature, successful artists who show at major galleries and earn 6-figure a year incomes. 300 out of the 80,000, 0.38. Okay. After that, there's about 5,000, I think, artists who have some representation, most in a mainstream gallery, and who supplement their income through teaching, writing, or supported partners, right? So we're talking about 6.72% of those that call themselves artists in residence in those various different areas are actually have a successful career. So look where you're at in the grand scheme of things, right? You've ascended to the top 6% of the art world. So number one, huge clap on that. Number two, I believe that, whatever those numbers have matured to, I'm seeing not a lot of social following, not a huge email list. Let me qualify that. 1,000 people on an email list, 5,000 people on Instagram, 5,000 people on Facebook. Still good numbers. Have well over a 6-figure a year business already. Like, where's that going to go to if it keeps growing and growing and growing? So the opportunities for you guys is extreme. You guys would be able to save on the fees because all three of you are going to get one website. Trust me, you got to I'll talk to your daughter personally if you want. You need to get going. You need to get going.
Okay.
And I think she'll have some air cover. Well, we can get into the weeds when we talk, but she'll have some air cover in the sense like, oh, it's just my family site. Right? It's just my family site. We're all on there. Like that'll provide a little bit of a subterfuge. But my guess is if they complain hardcore, it's going to be a couple of years of doing the revenue split. But who cares? You're keeping all the collector information.
Right. Well, I heard someone say on another Zoom call that they're worried about a slight revenue shift. I find that it's really minor, nothing, comparatively. We're actually on FAFSA, and we actually don't even pay for the website because we do certain services for us, and they use our name, do stuff on the website.
Yeah.
But I look at it and say, it's still not providing what I need,
Smart,
to drive a whole new business.
You don't have a website problem.
So that's why I'm here. I got a free website paid for by FAFSA, and I'm coming here and saying, here, I think this is actually a much more intense, better model.
Yeah, it is. You don't have a website problem. Just like no one else
it's
here.
It's not the website,
No.
believe me.
No.
That's not it.
No, it's the marketing.
And it's not the art,
No.
because like I said, my wife and daughter have won national awards. I've won second place in national competition.
What are your originals start at?
Well, this one back here would be like 5,000. Well, I just sold at a gallery a 50 by 50 Canyon de Chelly painting for 13,005.
Do you do prints too, or do you just do originals?
Well, that's just it. Some idiot that would work hard to sell originals, and then not do prints. That would be us, and so that's why we got to begin.
Oh yeah, this is honestly a no-brainer. You need to sign up. I'm going to help you make a significant increase in your income in short order. And I'm that sounds like a sales pitch or hyperbole. I don't say that to everyone. I obviously know how accomplished he is and the prices. And you had me at full-time artist for as long as you have. There's no way that happens otherwise. The fact that you're not doing the prints, I mean, I could go on a rant on this so hard. How many stores do you walk into where you know that the starting price is $5,000? Not many, right? So Doug's store has 2 aisles on it. Expensive to really expensive. The problem is everyone's customers are on a bell curve. Potential customers are on a bell curve. Low socioeconomic status, mid economic status. It's so hard to do this backwards, but you get the bell curve. And then the high net worth individuals and everyone in between. You don't have price points for any of these folks. Do you know how much money you're leaving on the table once you start marketing? It's a tremendous amount. And then the thing that no one ever tells you in art school is the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. Meaning through continued marketing, I buy a print today of Doug's work. It sits in my bathroom. I look at it for the next 5 years while I'm on the low end of the socioeconomic status. I get a good job. I move out of my crappy apartment and get a house. I've been looking at Doug's print for the last 5 years. Guess who I'm going to buy art? That's how it works in the real world. And you don't have that print on the wall because you don't have the damn price. Doug, biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. We can significantly help you. Not kidding.
Well, can you help someone dumb enough that have not done prints? Actually, I'm buying some property in Tennessee, and my real estate agent absolutely loved our art, loved my wife still. It's a very Russian. We're training Russian Impressionists. I'm Russian Impressionist. 3 generations go back. Immigrants from Russia.
Okay.
Sergei Bongard and Repin and that kind of stuff. But she couldn't afford the painting, and I had just watched a Zoom call with you, and I said, what a dumb knob. If I had prints, I could have told her, hey, Mary, just don't worry about it. You can get a print of it. But that is it's an affirmation to what you're talking about. Is many people can enjoy it, but if they can't afford that price point, then that's the beauty of having different income flow.
Have to have it. Yeah.
So we're behind, but I believe we can get caught up here with hard work over a couple of years.
Yep, you can.
But we have to be trained by you guys, through this, because we're blatant. We're in a box of rocks in market.
Make sure you request a demo so that our people start talking to you. Okay. Absolute no brainer. And even if your daughter is not willing to go along for the ride early on, you'll carry her kicking and screaming in like 6 to 9 months once you start getting the traction. Yeah. Like this is a no brainer of all no brainers. And I'd love to see you on the inside too. So good chatting, Doug.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Rita. How you doing, Rita? What's the progress over there?
Okay, well, there was a time when I had stopped doing the live streams and I knew that was wrong, so I got them back up again. Okay, so I have like a whole 2 pages of questions for you. So here we go. Number 1, am I supposed to do the same art pictures on my daily live streams like every single day?
No one has it all figured out right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can do any combination thereof.
Okay, and with different, and I'll just put different names and titles for each live stream, but it can be like the same art because I don't have a large body of work.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You're just fishing, Rita, early on, and just like it goes with fishing, you're throwing one thing in, you're throwing another thing in, you try some new things, you throw another one in, and you're just looking for bites. If you've got no bites, then you have creative license to keep experimenting and playing around.
Okay, now, as I understand it, your lowest price plan is 1,000. Is that still the case?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and how can I stay on your email list? Because I've been bumped off of it. I used to get 3 times a week all those Zoom links, and now I'm not on it anymore. It's been like that for like a couple weeks, and I'm like,
oh, it's got to be. We're probably, if anything, in your spam filter from over emailing because no one emails more in the entire world than us.
I checked my spam. I checked my spam.
Okay, just put your email in the chat and we'll resubscribe you. April will resubscribe you.
Okay, I'm doing that right now so that I can just move on to my other questions, and I don't have to. Everybody else can email me too. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for that because that gave me a deep down chuckle because no one has ever told me that they're not getting our emails. All I usually hear is you're sending me so many.
I have pulled all of your emails out of my spam and put them back in my inbox. But the last couple of weeks, I have not been getting any of your lovely spammy emails, and I really want them.
Wonderful.
Okay. Because I want to come to all the Zoom sessions, and then okay, that's done. You said that I cannot overshare on social media. Is 1 live stream and 1 photo of me holding an art piece per day enough?
There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, the abstraction is that you could run 30 of them a day and it wouldn't be enough, right? And I don't mean that literally. It's not to be taken literally, but consistent work on your marketing is how you're going to get there. And you're down in the weeds. I want you to stay up in the sky, which is just keep shipping things until you start getting some positive feedback. Until you get positive feedback and inquiries and what does that cost, you're not there yet, right? And to have the perspective too, Rita, that this is essentially the first year you've ever done consistent marketing, right? And you've been in this for maybe 2 months. What?
Yeah, I want to tell everyone else in the live stream what I'm doing right now. I'm not a member. I'm doing what I know to do from these Zoom calls. to raise money to join them. So this is not like a member. They have like way more information that I'm not getting right now for their members. So I'm just putting that out to everybody.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. No worries.
My next question is, okay, that one's done. Okay, I've set up a website under readadanart.com, and I'm uploading my current work to it. Is it better to have people private message me to buy a piece, or should I refer them to my site?
You should get them on the phone. Let them know you take PayPal. Do not rely on digital anything. Go directly to the source. I take PayPal, Venmo. I'll deliver, COD, whatever it takes. Right? Like, you know, don't send them away to a website.
What I've been doing is literally putting my PayPal Pay Me link in the description of my video, saying you can just go and unfortunately I don't know if that collects their address and all the other stuff that I need to ship it to. So
yeah, you're overthinking it. Just get somebody on the phone, get somebody on a text message, get somebody on an email chain, get somebody on an Instagram chat, get somebody on a messenger chat. You're willing to talk to anybody and everybody early on and try to gather some feedback.
Right. What I'm asking is, on the live streams, do I recommend that people go to my website, or do I
send me a message? Send me a message here on Facebook. Yeah, send me a message here on Instagram. Yeah.
Because it's the personal touch, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, send me a message. Okay. All right. And okay, the next one is because if they send me a message, this is related to the last question. If they send me a message that guarantees that I get their information so that I can build my collector list, correct?
Yeah, I mean, early on, you need to sell some art first, right? But you're just going to treat your collector list anyone that you have on your email list, right?
Right. Anything that any sales that I get, I need to immediately have those people documented, right?
Yes, and take care of them. Yeah.
Okay. So by having them private message me, starting a personal relationship with them, and I'm getting that information.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Okay. I know that you guys have this all systemized in the back end, but I just for members. But I wanted to ask, until I get there, do we store our collectors list in the cloud, or does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Keep it on a legal.
Because
Keep it on that notebook.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Don't stress about that stuff.
I'm not stressing. I'm really just trying to refine the process a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay, doesn't matter. I'm putting down like it doesn't matter on a lot of these. Okay. I've got my new setup, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it better to show it in it's currently on white light so that
the recording has stopped.
Yeah, the lighting's inside.
Is it better as white, or is it better as warm?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Right now it's on white.
Well, yeah,
doesn't matter?
no,
Okay.
whatever gets you to do it.
But like distort the colors and make
Yeah.
people okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, great. I love how all the answers are the same thing. This is so great.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I sell only prints, or
You could sell whatever you can sell. You'll take anything. Prints, merch, originals, commissions. Paint my dog, whatever it is. You're ready to roll.
Okay. So just be like a jack of all trades. Just sounds
100%. You're just trying to find traction, right? You're trying to find something that works that people want to buy. So you're on the path, Rita. You got to just be responsive to the feedback, right?
Okay, I'm done with my questions, and I know Jennifer Flores has been asking about legal stuff.
Yeah,
I'm done now.
Yeah. I responded during the chat, but thank you, Rita. Okay. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the passion. Yeah. What else? I feel like we worked through the Zoom bugs, and we're good to go. Does anyone else have a last minute question before we break? Can be about anything. You can throw it in the chat, or you can do the hand raise, or anything in between. Otherwise, I would say, if you're just in the discovery phase and you just heard about us in the last couple of days and you still don't really have an idea what we do, don't worry, come back to another one of these. But if things have piqued your interest, it makes sense to get a demo. A demo is no different than test driving a car at the dealership without any of that pressure and sleazy salesman crap. They'll talk to you, learn about your art, custom tailor the demo to what is important to you and not. It's a one-on-one experience. It's a Zoom call. It's like a test drive. You got to figure out how it all works, how it all looks. Afterwards, not for you. Don't worry. They will never call you again. If it's something you want to go forward with, great. But the demo process, the test drive, because we have so many bells and whistles, it's the best way to like learn more. If you're like, this piques my interest. Otherwise, come back to one of these sessions. We'd love to have you. But on that note, thanks everybody. Thanks for attending. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week. Rest of your week. We all love Rita's enthusiasm, and hope to see you on one of these.